Welcome to the Protein Bros podcast. On today's episode, we have a very special two guests from two different run clubs here in Kansas City. We have Mary Payne, who is one of the co-founders of Kansas City Run Club, and we have Randy Taylor, who is the founder of 816 Run Club. On today's episode, we talk everything Run Club, what to expect if you're thinking about going to Run Club now that the nicer weather is here, what to expect if you're doing your first race. It is just a great episode if you've ever thought about joining a run club or you want to find a community that is interested in running. Thank you guys for tuning in. We have a good show for you guys. Excited for you guys to listen to it, and let's get to the show.
Randy, Mary, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I love having you guys here together.
I know. I was so excited to be on with Randy.
Two separate run clubs. You guys have had two separate episodes with us. We've gotten to know you guys as people. We've gotten to know the origin stories behind your run clubs. But now we have a new season upon us. And I know that you guys don't ever take weeks off, and there's never really any breaks to Run Club. But I think we're starting to see some warm weather. We got just a little peak of it. And then we got ice and snow. We literally had a blizzard yesterday.
I said that to him yesterday. I go, that weather yesterday was terrible, and then I forgot that these psychopaths run. They're like, bro,
we rescheduled this because we wanted it to be more towards the warm weather.
Yeah.
And it's like we get a blizzard the same week that we record it. So anyways, our goal
It was
here,
a hurricane. I think they technically made it sound like it was a hurricane.
70 mile an hour winds.
70 mile an hour winds.
I shouldn't have called in my house blowing over until that day because that's considered a windstorm.
Darn it.
Yeah, my house blew over at 58 mile an hour winds.
Yeah.
And the insurance was like, that's not hard
Obviously not,
The wind didn't, like your house fell over, not because of the wind. It was just a gusty day, and it was 58 miles an hour. They're like, technically 70 is when we would start covering it. Pretty wild.
No, we ran. Did you run outside yesterday?
Yesterday. I did not actually run outside yesterday.
Randy,
here's the thing.
That's crazy. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Mary's harder than you, Randy. She's more tough.
Well, you said you guys don't take weeks off, and I'm like, well, Randy's my coach. He definitely sees my runs that I do not do.
Yeah.
That I take the days.
So yesterday, were you running towards the east?
We were running all over.
Run.
The wind was
into
bad
the
last
wind.
night. Yeah.
It was so bad.
It was pretty bad, but way better than the day before. Mm-hmm. It was fine last night. It was just cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got some fun times coming up. We want to talk to you guys about just what's in store for run clubs and what people should be looking forward to, kind of the differences between your guys' clubs, where the crossover is and where they're different, and then also just what events they should be looking forward to and how they can get involved. So, Mary, let's start with you.
Cool.
Kansas Run Club blew up over the last couple of years. You guys
fun.
have been absolutely killing it. Mm-hmm. Tell us about what people have looked forward to coming up.
Yeah. So, you said it, there's been so much more running in the community. I feel like just between all the different clubs, Kansas Run Club, the biggest focuses in the next 3 months are one on the girls. So we're going to have a way more women's runs. Last year, I think we did 3 maybe for the whole year, but we're trying to do them either monthly, quarterly, just more frequent for the girls to get the girls together. So Run Her Way, with New Balance, our partner. So we'll just do a lot more there, usually Friday nights. There's nothing on the calendar at this moment, actually Saturday, but this isn't airing, I guess.
What's a typical Run Her Way run look like?
Yeah, typically it's a call to all the girls who either A, haven't been to a run club, feel a little scared to go by themselves. Girls have it harder out there running just with safety and not wanting to run by themselves after dark. So we call all the girls. Whoever wants to run, bring the friends. It's open to the guys too, but we typically aim it just for the girls. We'll do flower making or giveaways, shirts, hats, just make it more fun, girly. 3 mile loop, walk, run, go at your own pace. But it's just a good time to get the girls together, to feel safe together. So we're trying to do more of those. And New Balance plays a big part in that. Adri is our New Balance rep, and so she usually leads those.
So she'll be creating the schedule for that?
She'll create the schedule, and I think the goal is just more frequent. So
I like it.
Yeah. Our 2 big events though coming up are March 26th. We are partnering with 2020 Fit, the CrossFit gym in Prairie Village. And it's going to be a big 2020 Fit times Kansas Run Club. We're going to have food, drinks, DJ, videographer, a few different partners. They're opening it up to their community, which is so fun, a different vibe, different members, people that have never come to Kansas Run Club before. So we'll have that, and it'll be a 3 mile loop from 2020 Fit March 26th at 6:30 p.m.
Nice.
That sounds
Yeah.
like you said this April 9th?
So then April 9th is a different event.
Okay.
And that's our spring kickoff. So if you've come to Kansas Run Club last year, in April, we did a big kickoff. There were almost 450 people. So many people outside of Lululemon. Supplement Superstores was one of our vendors. But it's just like our spring kickoff, welcoming the new year, new runners, better weather. People are wanting to be outside. And it was so much fun. We had music, we had giveaways, food, drink, S2, Lululemon, a bunch of different vendors.
How awesome.
No, so fun. And so this year, though, we're expecting like 600 people.
Let's go.
Like
Yeah.
we're preparing for 600. We're moving it to Mill Creek Park. So it's not going to be out front of Lulu. We can't fit
Where is
600.
Mill Creek Park in relation to Lululemon on the plaza?
I would say it's literally like half, maybe 0.4 of a mile.
Easy.
Just over quarter mile west of Lululemon. Big park, big water fountain. We're going to set up New Balance, S2 hopefully.
We'll be there.
Yeah, we got food, we got a DJ, we're going to have videographers. Like, it's going to be so much fun. We truly are expecting like 600 people.
Heck
just because
yeah.
in the past year, I mean, if we had 400 last year and the running community's only gotten bigger,
So much bigger.
yeah, we're expecting like 600. So it's going to be so fun.
Oh, man. Well,
Yeah, April
will
9th.
We will be there.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to that.
We'll talk to you guys later.
I'm all about it. Randy, tell me what's going on with you guys. This is 816 Run Club.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, same deal with 816 as KRC and all the run clubs. Stuff's been, just kind of growing and growing. And I think I even mentioned to you guys before that normally there's a big dip. And I think even when you guys moved down to the plaza, or I don't know, I can't remember, but it was like the winter was like pretty low that first time.
Yep.
But winter has like stayed like high. Like I haven't had a Saturday run that's less than 75 or 80 people all winter. And that's like literally, we didn't take any Saturdays off for weather. So through the winter, it's just stayed pretty high. And I say that to say that like there's just so much going on just with the normal, like it feels like every weekly run feels like an event right now. And so I know even talking with, I mean, we had that warm week last week.
Yeah.
And it like everybody's clubs just blew up for like 1 week because I think everybody's just itching to come out. So, but I've also personally, so the next couple of events that we're doing as a club, I've kind of, I'm running for what I would say like for a mission or for a reason this year, and that's to raise money for MS. And so I've aligned some of the events that we're doing as a run club with some of that. So I have a run event that we're doing from Vine Street Brewing on March 14th, which is a Friday night, like a race event, and all the proceeds go to the nonprofit for that. So that's a fun like twist. I started doing some events that are like unique race formats to basically really align no matter what pace you are, to like overlap people at the end. So like the finish line is just like this crazy, you don't know if you're chasing down somebody that's a 10-minute pace runner or a 6-minute pace runner or whatever. Like we like start waves and stuff, staggering, doing things like that. So it's called Tortoise in the Hair. That's coming up March 14th, doing that. Then I've got a, let's see.
This tortoise in the hair concept though, how cool.
So fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Wow, you can be a
Doesn't
tortoise.
matter your pace. You
Come on, bro.
You can be a
I'm the
tortoise.
hair.
in this.
But who won? Who won?
That's
won?
true.
The tortoise won.
Yep. So it has been a fun,
That's why I should be the hair.
a fun way to play off of, which one do you want to be? The tortoise or the hare, when we know the story and the one that's slow and steady, gets there. So there's a lot of truth to that too in running, but, so we've got that coming up. And then, I'm also, let's see. So literally the next day, we're doing a big thing at Rochester where we meet.
This is Rochester Coffee Shop
Rochester
downtown
Coffee
on
Shop.
the Crossroads?
Yep. Yeah. So doing that on the 15th. again, it's all centered around kind of raising funds. So that'll be our normal Saturday run, but we're kind of using that as like a bigger, amp that one up a little bit extra. So that's coming up. And then, I know, Mary, did you mention this Saturday?
No, this is airing after.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, next Tuesday. So this Saturday we're doing a big run with the Running Well store, a Run Her Way. So huge event for the girls. It's National Women's Day. And so it's for anybody, but mainly for the girls. And it's big with Running Well store and New Balance. Everyone's invited to come, so it's going to be so fun.
You guys going to have some content creators there too, as far as to get footage?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'd love to post that with this just to make sure that, people get an idea of what they'd be joining and so forth. And that way, hopefully we can bring more attention to these other events you guys are talking about.
And there's going to be many more of those coming like down the line. So partnerships with the Running Well store and different run clubs. The Running Well store has partnered with 9 Run 3. They're a new run club.
That's a pretty sweet name.
Yeah. Well, it was it was Fridays on the Lawn by Alex.
Gotcha.
It's now 9 Run 3. And so they partnered with the Running Well store there every Friday night. So hopefully, there's going to be way more of that. I guess the other thing is Rock the Parkway Half Marathon is in April. And so our April 9th event, we're kind of using as a shakeout run / prep for that.
For our listeners, will you tell us what a shakeout run is?
Yeah, I mean, a shakeout run is just a few miles before your race, whether that's a marathon, a half marathon. Most people, it's like 2, 3, 4 miles. You just want to keep your legs loose and then send it on race day.
Sure.
So Rock the Parkway is April 12th. Our run, shakeout run will be April 9th, the big event, just 3 miles. But also we're kind of making a call to anyone who hasn't been to a race to come out and cheer, because I think you guys will have a cheering area. Kansas Run Club will have a cheer section.
There's nothing cooler than the amount of people cheering for you on those race days, man.
Yeah.
It makes or breaks a race. Like I truly it can make it so much fun, or it can
the signs are they just keep you going.
Oh my gosh. We have a bubble thing. We got just the screaming, the signs, just cheering for you. So Kansas Run Club will have a cheer section. And so we're saying any of our runners who aren't racing, come out and cheer. And then if you haven't been to Kansas Run Club, still come out and cheer. It literally can make a race go from good to great for people. So
yeah. Hey guys, I'm going to take 30 seconds just to say, if you haven't already, we would love for you to support the show. This is not a podcast that we try to make money off of. It's 100% to support our local fitness community. If you like to support local fitness and you are somebody who likes to support that, we'd ask you to support it by supporting the show. Just give us a like, give us a comment, give us a share. It all helps. We appreciate you guys so much for listening. Let's get back to the episode. My first ever half marathon, Kyle did it with me, and I had never been a part of anything like it. It was the Go run in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah.
And they had donuts. There was somebody handing out Krispy Kremes.
Oh, yeah.
There was people handing out beers.
Fireball shots.
The last mile, some guy that was running next to me for the whole thing, he said, I haven't even slept yet. I just partied all last night. And all my buddies are here. None of them have slept either. And they're all just here cheering me on. And so him and I were keeping that 11.5-minute pace going pretty strong. And they brought him out cigarettes.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, I'll take a drag. I'm like, I haven't smoked a cigarette since I was 16 one time. You know what I mean? I hadn't smoked a cigarette in God knows how long. But I was like, what a funny way to be doing a half marathon.
Cigarettes is like a performance enhancer when you're running. I'm sure.
The video of me doing that.
I think we should revoke that.
In that same race, the cheer section for me, it was right at the end of the race as I was crossing the finish line. They were just going crazy, and then I realized they weren't cheering for me. They were cheering for the marathoner that was finishing, and we were doing a half marathon. I was
they were finishing at the same time as Kyle.
I was like, oh dang! I was like, why? Everyone's pumped for me. It was just me by myself. But then here comes this
the cowbells are going off at him.
Right. Sprinter, 2-hour marathoner.
A dude from Kenya that goes, and I was like, whoa! I was like, oh okay, never mind. They weren't cheering for me. The guy that just won the race finished.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was so fun though. Running like that, especially when you're in a group, is the best thing ever. Which is why I think, run clubs in the last 5 years have just caught fire, in the way that they have, because it's just when you do it with friends, it's way funner.
Yeah,
and
more fun.
It really does show a little bit. I mean, I know we both just had meetings with one of the guys that works with the Kansas City Marathon, and it's now the local races are reaching out to run club leaders and saying, hey, how can we
Support
you, but also, how do we partner in ways and make things available? So like Mary had mentioned, like last year, like Casey Marathon, we were able to have like tents and like team spots, at the finish and stuff like that wasn't a thing before. And so they're really starting to reach out and figure out ways to work
Notice
together.
your power almost.
I mean,
your
there's still-
influence, I would say.
Influence. And there's still a ton of work to be done there because I think we're so much on the ground floor of like the day to day of running run clubs and what people want and what people need. And like, there's still a little bit of a misalignment there, but I think at least that process of like starting to have conversations and figure out how to, work together is starting, which I'm really excited about. So, yeah.
Which I feel like a lot of people, they don't ever, a lot of people that I talk to about doing races, they don't want to do it because it's like the fear of the unknown, and, if you're in a run club and you've been running with these people and they're encouraging you to do it and they're doing it too, it's like, okay, well, I'll jump in. So it's smart of a race promoter to reach out because they know that the influence to basically push people into competing is through you guys.
Yeah. I think it's, there's a lot to do. Like you said, like there's so much potential for I've raced in Kansas City. I've been racing for like 3-4 years now. And so just seeing how I trained for my first marathon, how I raced my first marathon compared to now, it's just like night and day. And Kansas City has so much opportunity right now to just lean into that and just get more people active and challenging themselves and running their first races. It just makes me think of Travis too. Randy has a athlete. He ran the Kansas City Marathon and he was trying to go sub 3 hours last October and fell on his face. His legs give out like 10 yards from the finish line. Crawled across the finish line at like 3:01, barely missed his goal. Randy just in his ear, standing by his side, like the entire last 20 yards.
So a little bit to add to that is that so I've been the 3-hour pacer at Casey Marathon for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And the year before that, he was in my pace group and trying to run sub 3. And he hung on until about mile 21, and then fell off and ran like a 3:10 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so last year.
So falling like right at the finish line, legs just giving out, could not go another step.
Yeah.
And Randy just being there as the coach he is, just literally the GOAT, standing with him the entire way, like getting him across the line at like 3:01. Coming back 17 weeks later, just ran Austin Marathon, 256, 254, 256, crossing the finish line with like some left in the tank.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'd much rather have a little bit left in the tank than falling on my face at the finish line and not crossing. And so just like seeing that progression of course, Travis is like an incredible athlete and runner, but I think it has so much to do with the fact that the people around him, his coach, like the amount of runs and encouragement and he's able to get in, like it can take someone like from being a good runner, being a good racer to like crushing his goals. His bracket, his age, he made Boston qualified. So like sub 3 hours. So like impressive. And I'm like, it all has to do with who you're running with, the people around you and your coach. Like
we always say like culture is like a transfer of emotion.
Yeah.
And so it's just, it's clear, like, the amount of energy that you guys put into your athletes and put into the people that are a part of your clubs, and that belief that you guys have in them first transfers over to themselves. And so like getting to like visually like that manifested right in front of your face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there anything more rewarding as a coach?
Yeah.
No, not at all. And I mean, and I would even throw out another great example of like,
you coach.
I mean, you guys know,
you coach,
Sure.
Eddie, right? Eddie Barajas.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna say our boy Eddie just hit that marathon in Austin.
And so like
Baller.
that's the most awesome way I think that like our relationship, mine and Mary's, but just like the broader run club community and the way it's starting to, the ones at least that are working together for like kind of a greater good of the run community is, you have someone like Eddie and his wife who, they popped into the scene, going to Kansas Run Club. Obviously Eddie's been doing stuff and, kind of on the fitness journey for a long time, but then eventually they find their way over to 816 and they're running long runs at 816. And then Eddie's popping in at, are. I mean, I think even I don't know if she showed up with the
So
stroller.
the evolution of someone who's a novice runner to
Yeah.
I mean, he's running track workouts with us, and,
Yeah.
and training for his marathon.
same guy. I mean, he came into our store. I mean, Kyle, we obviously we spoke about Eddie on the first podcast with you guys, and he came into our first store. It was me and Kyle working the counter.
Yep.
And he was heavy in the powerlifting community.
Yeah.
And so just to see a guy who would say, that's not his identity, if you will. I'm not a runner, et cetera. And then all of a sudden, something he's doing for fun, maybe with his wife, something to stay in shape, something maybe to help his heart. I know he's got kids and he wants to stick around for them. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, I'm here to compete.
Yep.
So awesome to see.
It's also just like the accountability too with it all. A few Saturdays ago, you don't know this. A few Saturdays ago, I ran an 8:16 for my long run. I think I had to do 13 miles, and I did like 6 out, 6 back with with some people, and then I was like by myself for a moment, and I had done 12 miles, and I got back to Rochester, and this guy is sitting outside. Don't know his name. He was like an angel. He was like, God, just holding me accountable is what I was supposed to be doing. I was like, I'm done. He was like, oh, how many were you supposed to do? Or how many did you do today? What was on your schedule? And I was like, oh, 13. I did 12. Like, good enough. Like, I did 12 miles. Like, I'm calling it. It's freezing cold. I was over it. I wanted my coffee. Like, I had been up since 5. Like,
This was a homeless guy?
no, not no, he wasn't homeless.
He actually was Jesus.
No, you
just
don't want to know what the
appearing.
homeless people have said to us on our runs. Yeah. No, I don't know who he was. He was a runner. He was running with 816 that day. I've never seen him before. And he was like, go do your last mile. I'll be here when you get back. And I was like,
and he just like didn't leave it. He just left it there.
He didn't say, and I was like, okay, I'll go do my last mile.
I'm kind of tired.
Yeah.
No, literally, I was
no
like-
matter what comes out of your mouth, you're like, I know it's an excuse. No matter what I say.
I had just said what I was supposed to do. Obviously, have not done it. And so I was like, okay, I'll go do so I go do one more mile, come back, and he's like, good job, like so proud of me. And I'm like, that's just the accountability.
Yeah.
Like, why would I stop? I had one more mile to go. I was tired. I was over it. But like,
Some miles pretty far. That's why. That's my head.
but like that wasn't. I had told myself to do 13. Told myself I was going to do 13. Do the 13 miles.
Yeah.
And so
It's like, yeah, I'll be
it
right
was
here
an
when you
easy
get
way
back.
out, and he
What
didn't
a-
let me get out of it. And that's just
What a cool thing, man.
I know.
Do you know the guy's name? Do you even know the guy's name?
I can't remember it. And no.
But that's the beauty of it. Is like it just really doesn't matter.
I know.
How many races are in Kansas City from like now till fall? And what do you guys, in your opinion, what's the best race for, maybe somebody who's new to running to do first?
So I mean, how many races?
Well, not like
there's
5Ks,
so
like
many.
like Rock the Parkway.
Yeah, somebody
big
rocked the
ones.
Parkway on the last podcast. Maybe we talked
Yeah,
about
so
this.
so kind of the big ones would be Rock the Parkway, and that's coming up April 12th. And then
Jeff's favorite run.
they
It's just the one Kyle abandoned me on.
Shut up.
they had just moved Hospital Hill from like the summertime to the end of May, so that would be kind of the next big one.
Olathe,
And then Garmin Olathe.
full and half.
Yep. And then that's
These are thousands of runners in these, right?
yeah.
Garmin Olathe is less than Kansas City full and half, I think, which is October.
Yep. Then you go into like Plaza 10K, which is September. That's one of the largest races. And then Kansas City, full and half, and they also have like a 5K, maybe 10. I don't know if they have 10K, but for sure 5K.
Yeah. They also have Rock Island half in July,
Yep.
which is miserable.
Wow, that's a hot one.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I did that 2 years ago. I think I got sun poison or like a sun, what's it called?
Heat sickness.
Yeah.
Heat
maybe.
stroke.
stroke.
I was like having a heat stroke, I think. I've never sweat that much, never drank that much water on a run. Like everything was you were just sweating out everything. And that was very hard. It was like 92 degrees by the end of it at like 9 a.m.
Oh, yikes.
And the start time was actually it must have been like 10 a.m. because the start time was at 8 a.m. And I'm like, who starts a race in the middle of July at 8?
Yep.
This race needs to start at 5.
Let's talk about like these races. They cost money to do.
Yep.
Right. And there's two different types. You have races that are competitive, of course, but then you also have races that are for causes. And then you also have races that are causes and they're also competitive, right?
Yeah.
What differs those? And Rainey, I'd like to know your feedback on this. Just how do you differ a run from being a fundraiser to being a competitive event? And it's like they're all competitive, right? But by nature, but like, what is a sanctioned race like if it has a fundraising element to it for a cause?
Yeah, I mean, I would say even a majority of the bigger races have some sort of like donor that they're donating some of the proceeds, even if they're a for-profit race. Not all of them, but most of them work with some nonprofit. So now, you know, there's a few events, like Trolley Run is a great example. That's another one that we didn't even mention before. That's a 4-miler. So it's an untraditional race format. You're basically flying down Brookside Boulevard towards the plaza. So it's mostly downhill.
April 27th.
Yep. And so that type of race is really heavy on the fundraising aspect of it. The work with nonprofit there. And
it being non-traditional makes that kind of aligned, right? Because it's not a 3.1, it's not a 10K,
right.
it's
and
4.
And they just do a really great job of getting people that would not normally like run a race out there. So you're kind of mid to backpack like of people. The number of people that walk that is
it's like a turkey trot almost.
Yeah, it's like so many people, but because people don't mind, you know, kicking in the $40 or whatever, because so much of it's going to the nonprofit. So I think you have that element, but they also, you know, they have guys that are running sub 5-minute pace for that race. So it's like, very competitive. You know, there's guys that train and want to win that race. So I think there's definitely races that do a good job of both. And, you know, now then you have like the events like I'm putting on a little bit where I'm using those events not only to try and bring in the broader run community. It's one of the reasons I even started doing these events is that I wanted a place to invite all the different run clubs and different runners. And then I'm using that to raise funds for, right now it's for this MS fundraiser I'm doing. In the fall, I'll be switching gears to Ronald McDonald House Charities because I'm running Chicago for Ronald McDonald House. So like, in that regard, it's like I can use events like that to bring in different runners, build the community up, also raise some funds, and so collectively kind of get our community to just like come around a cause. And at the same time, I'm doing these kind of untraditional race formats to almost take the competitive side out of it. Not that people don't try and run hard, but as an example, I think we did this event after you guys we had done the podcast before, but I did a mile race. It was a midnight mile. And we called it Moonlight Mile. It landed on the supermoon. So it was literally like clear sky, giant supermoon. Cool. So Moonlight Mile. And the format was whatever time you think you can run a mile. So if you think you can run an all-out mile in 10 minutes, you would start at 11:50 p.m. With the goal to cross the finish line before midnight. But if you're a 5-minute miler, you're starting at 11:55 p.m. So you can see in the video,
so much fun.
There was like almost everybody like squished down into like we had 90 runners cross in less than a minute. So it was, you know,
so the goal is to get as close to midnight as possible.
Close to midnight as possible, but you know, in this video, there's people that you know started and ran 5-minute miles, and there's people that ran 11 or 12-minute miles.
Sure.
All running to the finish line to get
cool
together.
Concept.
Yeah,
love it.
So my goal in that regard is to use events to bring the community together in a way that they wouldn't normally. But then also now having like these fundraising pieces to it to like say, hey, let's fundraise towards this thing or fundraise towards that thing. You know, and
always brings out more and more.
Yeah. But then also just like, why not have some fun and do some like interesting things because I do feel that like, and that's one of the biggest things that our run clubs work towards in the actual run club is how do we make it inclusive? How do we make the person that is the 5-minute miler feel like they're like included in a part of it just as much as the person that's a 14-minute miler.
Right.
And it gets really hard. Yeah. Like that's a hard thing to do.
Really tough.
A little bit, you know, I'm not saying
you can pick on me.
They run 3-mile routes at KRC. They have a little bit easier than like at 816. I have people that go 2 miles and people that go 20 miles every Saturday. Right. So like that becomes even like, you know, if I have somebody that's a 13-minute miler and they're going 20 miles, they're out there forever. And so like I want them
do those
to
exist? That 13 times 20?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 hour cutoff of a marathon is like a 15-minute mile. So like people can walk it fast. And so you have, and those are the people.
If I had any hope of doing a marathon, I'd have to slow her way down as well.
But like those are the people that are so impressive to me, are the people that are out there for
it's
5
absolutely.
hours, 6 hours, getting across. Like 26.2 is the same distance for the 2 hour and the 5.5 hour.
Right.
And like that 5.5 hours.
I just always found it to be
Crazy.
so discouraging to see the people just flying by you.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for
Well,
sure.
That's Jeff's whole racing career.
It is.
My whole
Honestly,
racing
same.
career, both races I did.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it can be really challenging, especially, for myself.
I'm just speaking to the point that Randy's making, that it's like, dude, it's tough to feel like I'm the same as the guy that just crushed it. We had a guy that, that works for within our company. And I remember he did this half marathon, his first one ever, in an hour 40. Like he had just was like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
No, people are crazy. Randy
Like,
had a
how?
couple athletes. Yeah.
You know?
Their first marathon and half marathons this past year, and they were doing like 340s, 150 half, 145 half. They're fast. They're people pick it up naturally.
Wow.
There's some good runners out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so trying to take all those different pieces and be like, how do we create an environment, like not only in our run club, but in some races? And I think what my hope is that I can start to, influence the the bigger race community a little bit and be like, hey, like, yeah, we're not going to necessarily, reformat the race into a race format like what I'm trying to do. But what are the ways we can highlight some of these challenges and operate different? I mean, as an example, I literally was at Casey Marathon, to pick on them a little bit, like at the very end of the race, last runners coming through, they're tearing down, they ran out of food, they ran out of beer, there was nothing. And so like somebody that just like ran a 6 hour marathon and nobody's there, that's a problem.
That's
and
a
so
problem,
like I'm trying to highlight that, having conversations. Thankfully we've started that line of communication to say, how can we use our communities to be a part? Like, it's not like they have to figure out the thing. It's like, let us be a part of figuring some of this out. And so I think that'll be some of the really fun stuff that we'll start to see over the next year or two.
Sounds like you've taken like a real ambassador role here, for showing, people maybe that are new to putting on these events, like how to properly professionally run one.
They're probably not new to it. They're just
not
looking
new.
at it to the money side of things instead of the community side of things.
Yeah,
and
and
it's
I-
like they don't.
Well, they're going to
it's
spare time on a
short-sighted.
Saturday.
And just been
side of
done
things.
differently historically. Like it's different now.
We
Like,
have we put on an event, right? And if someone like packs up early, it's like, well, dude, you just put a massive gap in like
Yep.
the vendors, and now everybody's wondering, why are we going home?
and like that 6 hour runner needs a banana. They need their banana.
Right.
We need that. That's what you're running the marathon.
Well, you
for.
also, it's like, there's a story behind every runner,
100%.
and so it's like, I don't know, that kind of rubs me the wrong way, but
No,
it's not surprising to hear though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I understand, like, from the financial piece or logistics, like the challenges there. But I think that's where we can get creative. And partly just in terms of the way in which run club leaders, and Mary and I are obviously putting our thinking caps on with this, but like Alex with 9 Run 3, Jai with Run It Black, like we're all like thinking and trying to solve the same challenges that are.
Yeah, nothing's perfect.
How do
right?
you, How do you create an inclusive space, and like how do we like work towards some of this stuff? And so, so I think there's definitely a lot of fun things and ways in which we can use what we're trying to work on just in our own stuff, our own clubs, and like start to like push that out and into the broader community. Hopefully, have influence that sticks. So.
Is this the relay race for MS? Is that something you've done before, or is this your first time ever doing it?
So you're talking about the speed project, the race that I'm personally doing? Mm-hmm. No, I've not done it. So this will be my first time. And it's the first time that this organization has done the speed project. Although the way it started, the lady that founded this nonprofit, her mom had MS, and she was trying to figure out a way to just bring more awareness and raise some funds. And so she actually ran, her first big event was she individually ran a Transcon run. So she ran from LA to New York, like solo. she had people meeting her along the way and whatnot, but she just did that and just started like reaching out to people along the way and news outlets and whatever, anybody, that would listen, just to individually, raise awareness and funds. And then she started the organization the next year, and they broke that up into a 20-person relay across. Yeah. So now that's their main event, is they do like a 20-person relay, Transcon relay every year, just to raise funds and awareness for MS. And but the organization's got to the point where now they're starting to get some entries into some other kind of these established relay events and stuff like that where they let like nonprofits have entries to, to come in and to utilize to raise funds. So TSP, the Speed Project, is one of those. We kind of got a last minute entry into it. And so I didn't even know that I was going to be doing that until January, like for sure. And then the race is at the end of March.
What is the length again?
Yeah.
It's LA to Vegas. There is no set route. So Santa Monica Pier to the Welcome to Las Vegas sign. And the only other rule is you have to have 6 people, 3 females, at minimum of 3 females. So you could actually have more, but you cannot have more than, or you can't have less than 3.
So does everybody ride behind in like a camper or something?
Yeah, we'll have an RV and we'll also have a Jeep. The challenge is that because you make your own route, the shortest route is on these like dirt roads through the desert, for the middle of the race. And so
Get Mary out there. She said that she likes to run in the blazing heat.
No, he literally messaged me. He said,
her.
Mary, do you want to run the Speed Project? First of all, I know about the Speed Projects because of Nick Bear last year, and it was
Nick
super
Bear
fun
did
to
it.
watch and follow along. Literally would be a dream. Would love to do it. But he says, Mary, do you want to be on the Speed Project? And I said, are you crazy? Do you want to win? Like, are you trying to win? Like, because I'm going to be out there. My 3-mile, time slot is going to be 30 minutes. Like, people they're doing 5-minute miles. Like, if you want to win, you got to be quick.
So there is no rules on how often you can tag in. It's like literally like elementary. Like you have to like tag
So
the
much
runner
fun.
in.
Straight up tag team. Yeah.
Tag team. Yep. And so it's as fast as you can run
Get
it.
there,
So like
yeah.
they'll a lot of teams start off with about 3-mile splits. If you kept with that, you would be running like 18 5Ks in less than 48 hours, in like 40 hours. Cause you don't
love
stop.
that
you
idea.
just roll. Yeah. So, but you have like a 2-hour gap in between.
I feel like you need more time to sleep though.
Yeah.
You know,
And
or
rest.
probably not getting much
Not
sleep.
one
Yeah.
time. I mean,
But then some teams cut down to like 2-mile increments.
Yep.
But they have a girl on their team, my friend Maria, and one of Randy's athletes, runners. She's incredible. She's an amazing runner. She just started. She did some running in high school and stuff. Played basketball in college, but she just started running like a year ago. She's been running for a full year. She's Boston qualified on both of her marathons. Very fast girl, and she's on their team. And so like they're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
are you not going to be in the RV?
No, so then I said, well, can I be like in the RV?
Yeah.
can
Can I make some
I
peanut
wanna
butter
go to
jellies?
Vegas
what do I gotta
afterwards.
do?
No, literally.
The challenge is
They don't want
they
me.
actually limit the number of crew and the number of like media people you can have.
I would be such a good person to crew.
They put on there like no spectators allowed, because obviously for safety reasons they don't want like hundreds of people just hanging out on like these
Desolate roads.
desolate roads with no service and whatnot. So yeah, they're pretty strict on how many people you can roll with through the event. Otherwise, I would have loved.
I say I
I'll
want to
just
dive
send
deeper into
text
the Speed
messages.
Project because just like what a cool event. Is this
Definitely.
the longest you've ever had to go?
No, I mean I'll end up running like 60 miles or so, and I've done multiple 100-mile races. I've never done it split up like this, and I've never been like where I had to go for like 40 to 48 hours.
Yeah, no sleep for a while.
Yeah, that'll
gosh,
be
I'm
You'll be
that'll
catching some naps probably.
Yeah.
gonna be
Real
so dope.
concern is like our drivers just, having to be awake that long too.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, you can't really stop. Cause you like, we're talking, 5K, even if we slow down, that's less than 30 minutes. And so like, they're still having to like drive and navigate to the next point or whatever.
Yeah, getting gas.
Yep.
Especially if you're doing like, let's say 7-minute miles. So that's 21 minutes. They only have 21 minutes to get the next person to Randy to tag for the next
Right.
run.
They stop for even like food.
What's the rules on the gas situation? Can you have an external tank gas tank?
I don't think there's no rules on they don't talk
They're
about
like, get
that.
creative.
Yeah.
Just figure it out.
I love it. Yeah.
So
I love like the, just kind of like the bootstrapping of it all.
So fun. No rules. Just go.
Yeah.
but it's, and it's really fun because so the organization that I'm doing it with, MS Run the US, they take these kind of really wild events, the Transcon Run or TSP or Hood to Coast is like another big relay that they're looking to get into, and then get people like me who are connected in communities and stuff like that. Just like, hey, would you like to be on this team? And then how can we, partner so that I can just raise awareness and funds? And that's what I'm trying to get everybody behind. So yeah, it's been really fun.
That is cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, ways to just connect and make stuff happen. Yeah.
It is crazy how many people now that they're running since it's become so big in Kansas City, how many people are running Chicago? Like 20 people, 15 people?
Oh,
and they're all
maybe even 30.
So now everyone's fundraising, and I'm used to like fundraising and just being by myself and being able to ask everyone for money. And now everyone's asking everyone for money. So it's tough.
You gotta get your sales going.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing Berlin, and I'm running with Team Red, White, and Blue. So they're a veterans organization that gives money and help for mental health and physical health for veterans. And I have a very low ball. Like I only have to raise like 2,500. So I think I'm already halfway there. But it's crazy. Everyone's asking people for money these days.
Yeah, that's
So you got to be very strategic about when and where Fridays, when people get paid, how you're pitching.
you're flying across an ocean to go run. Is there a little bit of like time needed to acclimate before you run?
No, for sure. Yeah, I don't know what's
Berlin-
going
Just the jet lag. You don't want to run a marathon with jet
I
lag, I
know.
would guess.
And the flights I'm looking at, like if I left on Thursday, I don't even get there till Friday night. And I'm like,
You
oh,
lose like a
gosh.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Berlin is, although it's one of the fastest courses in the world, like almost nobody from here runs well because you just can't,
Yeah.
like you can't
Acclimate.
get acclimate in time.
I just plan to stay up for 56 hours and just full send, Ripa.
just,
No, we'll see. No, it's gonna be different. All my races though, all my marathons have been out of Kansas City. So I've always had to travel for races. And so I have a little bit, but like I haven't ever done overseas. So
Certainly not like an 18-hour flight.
yeah, I don't know.
What's the actual time of the flight?
I think it's like 10 hours.
Have you done those before?
No, the farthest I went was CIM, Sacramento. So, but that was in my favor because waking up at 3 a.m., it was actually 5 a.m. my body time.
Right.
And so wasn't bad.
There's if you do like the red eyes, it's awesome. Honestly.
Just sleep through the night.
That's right. And they like give you a blanket and a pillow. It just comes with the flight. Even if you're just getting like a standard,
Yeah.
steerage seat like me, back right corner. Like,
I've been saving up my Delta
there's
points.
there's a pillow and a blanket for you. They usually like serve you a hot meal. And
Yeah.
you
you gotta
just pass
sit
out.
straight up though.
I mean, you've got the subtle
The subtle
recline.
thing.
Yeah.
Does the
You got
person
the
behind
2-inch
you hate
recline.
you?
I mean, like if they recline too, it's the same distance.
Yeah.
Right,
So
yeah.
just everybody recline. It's 10 p.m.
Dang.
What are we doing?
right.
So the other thing is like there's always like a ton more snacks on those flights. Just a fun add-on. Yeah, I went to South Africa and it was like
some more
16-hour flight.
pretzels.
Yeah.
And I can't handle like I'm very much a claustrophobic person. I'm not a small person in an airplane
Yeah.
seat. So like you can buy like a foot hammock for like $10.
I have one of those.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
buckles onto
Put
like
it
the
on
tray.
the seat. You can put your feet in
okay.
it. Yeah.
And you can put your feet in it, so you have your feet like laying in a hammock. And there's also this inflatable pillow that you can like put your arms and face in.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, it like saved the day for us when we were in South Africa because a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
I might need that.
Guys, we're obviously super excited for you. We're going to come hang out at some of these events.
Yep.
Lots of fun things. If they want to keep up, because I know we talked about a lot of events, we'll try to timestamp them throughout. But where can they best find these events that are coming up for each of your guys' clubs?
Yeah. Kansas Run Club is just at Kansas Run Club on Instagram. We have a website. Yep, there we are. We post everything there. There's also a group me link in the bio. So click into the bio. There's a bunch of different things that you can click through. And then I'm Got Payne, Mary Payne, just Got Payne on Instagram. Everything's there.
Payne.
Payne.
And then I would say the same. Yeah. A16 Run Club, Instagram, Linktree as well. It's getting a little out of hand. Too much going on. But yeah, it's all, you can find it there. And then, we've got my personal Instagram is coach_RWT, but we also have a website as well that kind of clicks through to all the same stuff. So, but yeah.
Dude, I want to.
Sweet. Should be a good year. It'll be the first year that Jeff runs a full marathon, which he's been talking about wanting to do for a very long time. And
literally not one time have I said that.
Pretty excited for him to get out there and start training.
He's trying to start some shit.
Randy's a coach. Randy's always accepting new members,
is
new
going to get you going.
How
much whining can you put up with? Because there's going to be a lot of whining.
I actually run, dude.
I've got
That's a funny thing.
He
doesn't.
Yeah.
This is like unbelievable. He's gaslighting me right here.
Yeah.
He's the one that
Jeff.
I ran a half marathon and he left me high and dry and abandoned me on the
Jeff, first of all,
the Parkway,
we both aren't
2017.
runners, but if we had to run,
I think we actually, you guys, no, I think there has to be some sort of thing here.
We did it.
No, I think you guys need to sign up for one.
Yeah, I'm in.
Randy will coach.
Yeah.
And
Kyle,
you finish your first race.
The truth is, the first time we ran a half marathon, we did it together, and we actually ran the first 8 miles together. We both stopped at a porta potty to pee, and my foot had a stress fracture in it already from wearing brand new shoes on day one. Didn't know that was a thing. And so I just wore brand new shoes day one on a race, and I literally had a stress fracture in my foot. I took my shoe off and ran the next 2 miles barefoot on one foot.
Oh gosh.
In downtown St. Louis, which is just like, what are you thinking, dude? There's like
just
a nail every
needles.
2 minutes.
Yikes.
Just it's not good, dude.
No.
But anyways, the next time we moved here, I was like, man, looking for something to like sink my teeth into after moving to Kansas City. I was like, what's the best, what's the most popular half marathon? They said the Rock Parkway.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
So I did that, and Kyle said he would do it with me. And as the story goes, he didn't.
Well, we're both going to sign up with Randy, and we're going to do.
He didn't show up. I finished that finish line.
We'll
Not a
see
single person I
who-
knew there. No one to cheer me on. No one to say congrats.
We'll be there this time.
Yeah.
Kansas
Just be
Run Club
myself
will
and
have it.
no community.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kyle. Real talk though, dude, you guys have, I gotta I'm trying to like somehow package this well as far as how I say it, but you guys both take, being like, I know you guys don't do it because you're someone of influence, but I love how much you guys take, the interest that other people have in something that you love, and you take it so serious as far as being a true ambassador for the sport. You guys spread so much joy. You guys spread so much wisdom to all of these people. And it's just amazing to see like the way that Kansas City has adopted running based on your guys' passion and your love. And of course, many others that you guys connect with that get credit for it. But I just want to say I appreciate you guys doing what you do every day. It's so special to see like how much people have adopted running, and you guys make people feel welcome. You guys make people feel, belief in themselves, belief in their communities. It's just a very cool thing. And so just thank you guys for just taking it so serious as you do. Very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no,
really
it's everyone. It does it. Yeah. It's everyone has to be there, or it's none of us. Like it truly is every single person that shows up, every person that started the clubs. Yeah. Like they all get the shout out because we're literally just two people. It's everybody else.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, that passion spreads. And I
it's
think,
so fun.
and it starts at the top. So
Thank you.
One more thing I want to add before we call this podcast is
You're going to agree to the half marathon and training?
Sure.
Shake on it.
Yeah,
shake on it.
Bro,
shake on
my word doesn't have to be called into question. Yours does, Kyle, so you shake on it.
You hold on. The only
My
way
word
I'm
doesn't
going
have
to
to be
agree
called
to
into
it
question.
is
I do what I say. I actually
what's
finish
the
what I do.
Hold on, we need to
I'm
have.
sorry.
There's got to be
I
a
agreed to do an half
wager.
marathon, and you didn't go.
There's literally got to be a wager since you had the gall. The absolute gall to say that you would beat me in a race.
No, I
I've
didn't.
never been more offended in my entire life.
Here's the truth. Never said that either.
Yes, you did. You said, I actually run. That's what you said to me. You looked me in the eyes.
Does
and
I
said
actually
that.
run have to do with saying I'd beat you?
I said we
Two different things. Mary, what do you think?
No, I think what I think needs to happen is you both need to sign up for a race.
We should.
I'm sorry. I thought it was me against me.
And
Do not pull that shit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right now.
I thought it was me versus
Do
you
not
this whole
pull
time.
that right now.
I'm 36 years old. I'm just psyched to be out there.
Yeah,
you're
sure.
funny.
Maybe we'll just have the whole team come out.
I'm honest.
To,
He's funny.
We'll have the whole team come out to my Midnight Mile event this
I
year.
think everyone needs to
yeah.
show up.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Dude, when's the Midnight Mile this year?
It won't be until November. So
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
but the entire S2, nobody's
Let's
working
go.
at midnight.
Yeah, no one's working
Everyone
at midnight.
needs to be out there.
We're all in.
S2 as the sponsor. Okay.
S2 Run Club
They
started
said
it
it.
just
This
now.
is on.
Born on
Luke,
date.
put this in the video.
You're gonna start 12 minutes out, and I'll start 7.
And I bet
That's
Jeff
fine.
comes
But then
across the line
you can
first.
chase each other
Funny
to the
enough,
finish line.
I've actually run a 6-minute mile on a treadmill before.
Wow.
Oh, we talked about how
It
bad
helped
the
taking
treadmill
my
running
foot,
is.
and it kept my
It's
foot
brutal.
going back for me. But I did a 6-minute mile
Same
once.
thing, yeah.
I have one fun question for you. I want you guys to think of your best examples you can possibly think of. We had a good laugh about just like some of the spectator antics during a run. What is the wildest thing you've seen? And as you think about that, Luke is going to cue up the video from my first half marathon of me
Oh my gosh.
pulling a drag. Look at my corded headphones. That's how long ago this was.
Wow.
That was the dude who gave
You're
it to
having
me.
so much fun.
Yeah.
I was like mile 12. He handed me that. And I was like, might as well.
That
This
could
guy's got
never
a
be
massive belly tap. Look at that. It was like a,
He's
piece of
vibing.
cheese. Yeah. He was the one that hadn't slept.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Whew. Couldn't be
Also,
me.
the
the
crop
bathroom-
t-shirt
The crop.
was original at the
That's
time.
Joey. It's
no
so
one was
Joey
doing that
coded.
at the time.
The bathroom where Jeff took off his shoe.
It's a piece of pie. That's his belly tap. It's just a piece of pie. All right, sorry.
It's not a good looking piece of pie either.
I would like to know what he's doing.
No, it was like a prison
these days.
tat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you took off your shoe and we stopped to go to the bathroom, I had never ran that far in my life, and I was like, "Oh no, my legs!" Getting my legs back going was
yeah.
a chore.
Yeah.
And then Jeff's like, "Slow down." I was like, "Dude, I got to get these things going, and I can't slow them down because I'm afraid that they will stop working."
Yeah, we were.
And
the
you're not
same
wearing
at
a
8
shoe, dude.
We were at the same at 8 miles, and he ended up, I think, running at 15 minutes faster than me.
Yeah, I was just like, "What the?"
That's
I
crazy.
can't.
But I did finish, and I did
That's
put the
all
shoe
that
back on.
matters. That's all that matters.
My whole goal was just to not walk on that one. 6 days notice on that training. on
6
that.
days. I remember that.
That's
story.
respectable.
Yeah, that's
What's the craziest thing you've seen?
It was
Randy?
2.5 hours was what I finished in. Not that great.
That's literally not that bad.
Not that bad, not that great.
So you're saying what's the craziest thing that I've seen?
Antics wise from the spectator crowd as you're running.
Oh man,
From the spectators.
I think like I was given a Krispy Kreme. I was given a beer. I've been given. You said
I heard bubbles. I heard,
Yeah.
We heard a red hot or whatever it's
a
called.
funny sign.
Cinnamon.
You know what
liquor.
I'm saying? Like, I feel like a sign that's funny while you're running could really cheer you up.
yeah.
Find a butt and hang on is one I've seen once. It was like find a butt
Yeah.
and just follow it on the run.
I will say, kind of on that idea, but not. It turned out to be fine. But when we were in Chicago running the Chicago Marathon, my wife ran by a table, grabbed this giant handful of like gummies and ate them.
Oh no!
And then immediately freaked out because she was like, "Wait, what?
Are those
did I-
THC guys?
Yeah, what did I just eat?" Right?
Oh,
and so like,
my.
just as a little warning, maybe be a little careful. You know,
They have to be in a package that you open.
in a package that you open. Yeah. Yeah, man. I
But
mean,
they weren't THC gummies, right?
They were not.
Okay.
Thankfully.
They're like CBD though.
Yeah. So, as an ultra runner, like, man, I've seen some real crazy stuff out there. But like, I mean, people.
Just tell your secrets, Randy.
I
Why
mean,
are you telling?
I
What's the
don't-
real crazy
I don't-
stuff?
I just mean like food and all kind.
Everything.
I mean everything.
Someone's like serving like enchiladas.
no, literally.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
like a fork
just
and knife
Pizza.
meal. Oh, pizza's
I mean-
like handy. I'm talking like someone like handing out lasagna, like
Oh,
something you just like can't
mean-
eat while you run. That'd be funny as hell. Here's some mac and cheese. You're just like, what am I gonna do with
What
it?
am I going to do?
That'd be kind of funny.
Honestly,
right?
that would probably
If there was like
help.
a grandma with like a spatula, just like
serving up some.
how funny would that be though, right?
But it is interesting. You don't see, and I'm just thinking through like in Kansas City. Kansas City's not a great race like spectator like.
Which why we need more.
We need more spectators. We need more crazy antics. So I think that's tough. It's a tough question because we don't see a lot out there. It's like we are the vibe like in the race. Like,
Yeah.
we're trying to amp that up.
I got some I
Well, I
got some
have
ideas. My ideas are flying right now in my head.
I have one thing that I saw, not that I didn't see on a race, because at the end of the day, like funny signs are funny signs. Like the more the merrier. They all are funny. Like there's so many funny ones at New York City. New York City people are just different, and I love it. And so they made it super crazy and fun. But my favorite thing that I needed and that I was like, I've never seen again during Chicago Marathon, mile 24, hit like 85-degree sun blazing down on my forehead, just dying out there. A guy with a hose was spraying everyone down with a hose from his yard. And I was like, literally,
Get me.
It
Yeah.
was amazing.
That's
Needed
pretty
it.
awesome.
Yeah. I haven't seen it again.
People that just like do that, that like have a house on the route and they
Oh my
just
gosh,
like
I
set
love
up the
it.
lawn chairs
Yep.
and
Oh,
just
yeah.
make it a thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much fun. there's what comes to mind, like the Midwest or like the Waste Management tour for golf in Scottsdale and like Phoenix for
The
golf
ones
every
that
year.
like party.
It's like the most party golf tournament, but it's a PGA Tour event.
Right.
Yeah.
But the Waste Management is like people are like, getting drug out by ambulances every year because of how much they party.
Whoa.
Everybody is just partying balls. Like it's unlike anything else at a golf event. And so it's like, how do they do that?
Yeah.
Well, it's sponsored heavily by, beer companies.
Yeah.
So I'm saying we have this little company here called Boulevard.
We have not
Maybe-
leaned on them enough.
I mean,
No, we
like
haven't.
clearly
Yeah.
not. They
Yeah,
even
yeah.
made that. I don't know if they stopped making it or not, but they made that like athleisure beer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you start giving those out to the spectators, you might have a little more
Yeah.
spectators.
Yeah.
No, spectators can get crazy.
That's what I'm
you gotta-
saying. That one of the marathon we were at, the half marathon was in Soulard Market, which is just the party area of
Yeah.
St. Louis.
What
And
they
people
do-
were partying on that.
With that one, the whole thing is like all of Soulard, they stay up. And so they're all like up from the night before partying. And so it's
And every house in there
ridiculous.
is everybody's still partying from that. Like
Yeah.
every house is there.
You also have to run through East St. Louis at the beginning of it, which is a little sketchy, but
A little sketch for sure. Passing some homeless people there for sure. So,
Yeah.
Anyways, lots of ideas. We love hanging out with you guys. Thanks for taking the
Yeah,
time
you
to
guys
come
are the
back on
best.
here.
Thank you
Thank
for
you, guys.
having us.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
pumped about all these events coming up. And we'll see you at the Midnight Mile. Midnight Mile.
S2.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Boom.
The whole team.
All about it.
Thank
We're
you,
in.
guys.
Thank you, guys. All right, guys. If you've made it this far, you've gotten to the end of the episode. We really, really appreciate you taking the time and spending your day with us. As always, we'd really appreciate any kind of support you can give to the show. If you're new to the show, we do not run ads. We do not do anything to try to collect a fee. All we ask is that you guys please support the podcast, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and give it a share. So if you've gotten this far, thank you again for listening and making us a part of your day.